Hi everyone, Debbie here, number 15 lesson. Have my drink of choice, which is lemon slices in water today. Had a fair bit already. Everyone coming onto the mat for a bit of a digestive squashing of the tummy and the organs, and twisting are really great for our tummy to just, it's sort of like squeezing a sponge. You're squeezing your tummy like that. So the organs in your tummy at the moment might be a bit like this from all the stress that we've had over the last month. So this is going to help squeeze that and get optimum benefit towards your digestive system, so that you can actually even get more energy, lose a bit of weight. Because if it's like that, how can the nutrients and the minerals absorb through your stomach lining when it's so tight and tense and in stress? So we're relaxing and squashing our tummy today. So everybody leaning back, sitting up straight, of course, like we get down into our lovely corpse pose, and I'll do a little bit of a meditation and off we go. Arms up towards the front of our body, palms facing, sitting up as much as we can, pushing up as if we have that string to the top of our head, and then rolling back down, slowly scooping our spine onto the earth gradually and letting our hands just float down. Those feet, give them a bit of a rock, and the legs, and just let them fall out to the sides. Fingers curling up, lifting your head and just plopping it back down into a bit of a straighter line, a bit more secure base to your head and your neck and your spine. And start just thinking about, when you close your eyes, what your body is doing. It's actually lying there quite straight, or have you got one leg further out than the other? Have you got your body with one hip over further than the other? Just lift yourself up and get quite straight on the mat, even if you have to look at the mat itself and think, okay, well that's pretty even from there, and coming back down and letting those arms go. Big breath in, like you're smelling the most magnificent rose that you've ever smelt before. And on the out breath, letting go, letting everything sink into the floor, into the mat, into the earth. Backs of the shoulders stretching down and flopping down and softening. Down the arms, getting heavier and heavier. Towards the hands, and they're not having to do anything either, so they can just curl up and be in a relaxed state. Nice through the chest as you're breathing in and breathing out that old style energy with the noise on the out breath. Ah. Letting go of that depth of old style energy at the bottoms of the lungs. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Moving through the midriff, the mid-back, going down the trunk as if you're just easing and softening every organ. Like I said, that stress needs to be let go. Stop holding those organs and let them fall into the correct location inside your body. Pelvic bucket, all through there, your tummy's hanging like a hammock. Let everything just fall back into its correct position. Pubic bone soft, hips splaying out to the sides, they're so relaxed, and that's letting those legs go a little bit more, pointing the toes into the direction of just where they fall. Tops of the legs, backs of the legs, melting and softening like butter in a saucepan. Heels and ankles are loose, feet are soft, top and bottom. And imagining those energy tentacles forming underneath your feet and reaching all the way down past the sand and the soil and the underground water streams all the way through the rocks and the layers and the crusts of the earth to that big iron ball in the centre of Mother Earth, turning slowly in that big lava lake, that moat. It's just helping her spin. It's nice and oily. It's like spinning that ball easily, that red hot orange ember like out of a hot fire. Drawing on your next in-breath all that energy up through Mother Earth, all the way up through your body, all the way up down your arms, through your neck and face, all the way through every single hair on your head. And of course we have that opening at the top of our head, our crown chakra, that's allowing that cosmic energy from the corners of the universes up through that black hole in the middle of the Milky Way. Feeling that energy, scooping it up in your mind's eye, letting it come back down through that black hole, past the planets and the stars, our moon, pouring into the top of our head, filling up our mind, our brain, our face, our eyes, our lips, our nose, throat, down the arms to the fingertips, flooding into the chest and the heart, the stomach organs, the liver, the spleen, the pancreas, the stomach sac itself, gallbladder, into this internal organs of the small intestine and the large intestine, and the kidneys and the bladder everywhere, pouring into every cell down your legs as well, into your feet, and of course flooding Mother Earth with that beautiful cosmic energy all the way down to the centre. So we have the beautiful energy coming from above, and the amazing earthing energy with her own healing hertz coming up from below, coming to the middle of our body and splaying out into that auric field of ours, arm's length to the sides, in front and behind and above and below us. This is our vital healing energy. This is our energy system for this lifetime, and we're building it up with the yoga and the meditation, and of course the beautiful sound of these bowls that I'm going to play right now. So you need to just not think of anything and just be in the very present moment, taking advantage of the beautiful sounds of the bowls. Vibration of life all through every cell, effervescent, bubbling up your cells, your blood, all the fluids in your body. 74 to 78% of us is liquid fluid in the cells, in the sacs of our spinal fluid, in our organs, breaking down our food, in our liver, in our kidneys, in our bladder, every muscle. Everything has water in it. And so that's why sound resonates so easily with us. It's going through our every cell, balancing us as it goes. Moving those hands and those feet just organically, letting everything just warm up a little tiny bit after the relaxation. And from here, when you're ready, we're not going to sit up just straight away. We're going to do a few stretches with that tummy and squash that tummy a little bit. So big breath in, Big breath out, wiggle those fingers a little bit, but bring that leg, one leg up. The right leg's first because the right hand side is the ascending colon. And if you can and your knees aren't hurting, you grab over the top of your shin and you pull in towards you. Now switch that other leg on and bring that heel towards the opposite floor wall and your toes towards your head. And just stay here. If you have bad knees, you can easily do this underneath your thigh, the back of your thigh, and just gently bringing it in. It's not a competition on how far to get it in, but it's squashing my tummy already, which is already doing a lot of good. So just softening that belly while we're thinking about the stomach and everything getting squashed. Big breath in, and on the out breath, just really sink and surrender in. Let that tummy go. It's probably been holding it, so used to holding it in, having tension. So all through today's lesson, we're going to let go all the time and surrender. And a little bit further, then you can get your leg towards your shoulder or up towards your chest, and then letting go of that one. So we're not letting it go back down, we're just going to take now the opposite hand, and across our body we grab the side of that knee. This arm goes straight out level with our shoulder, palm down on the floor like a support system. This leg still switched on. Big breath in, big breath out, and just coming across your body. You're not rolling right over. That's going to be unsupportive to your lower back. You're keeping your shoulders on the ground. That one's really supportive, but you're just coming across your body. And if you have sore knees, you just let that one stay out so that you're not squashing your knee up. But otherwise, you can bring it in and you can really tuck it behind that other one. And you're, again, squashing the lower tummy now. And that's a nice breath in and a nice breath out. If you can lift your head and easily look down that arm towards that flattened palm, great. And that's really good if you can do that as well, but it's not a necessity. If you need to look straight ahead to the ceiling, that's fine. Couple of breaths and surrendering and letting that tummy be squashed on the out breath there. And then coming back and just rolling that back onto the full bottom. Now, this time we're going to give that a little bit of a squeeze again. Each time we'll get a little bit more softness towards that belly. Keep that one switched on. See, I forgot to switch that on then. So we can get a little bit forgetful on one side. So we've got to keep everything switched on this side. And we're going to just take our hand now. This same side that the straight leg's on, we're going to hold our hip down. And then we're just going to ease that groin open, holding the knee on the inside of the knee, or if you've got bad knees, holding underneath the side of your inner leg there, up underneath your kneecap. And on the out breath, surrendering and opening that area then, opening that. So we've squashed it and now we're opening it. Breathing in, breathing out, letting go on the out breath, and surrendering that tummy, but not that hip. That's all still firm. And your hips down, not over. It's got to be kept down. So your leg might only get out to there, but the whole aim of the game is stay supported on the earth. And each breath and each surrender, you will get a little bit further out. If we were here for 10 minutes, you might even get your leg nearly on the floor. Don't think so. Bring that knee back in. Another little squeeze. This time, instead of towards the chest, take it out from around your belly and towards your under armpit. So that's another squeeze of the stomach in a different way there. Breathing in, breathing out, letting go on the out breath, surrendering that tummy. And fully supported on the floor, so it's not hurting your back at all. And of course, if you have sore knees, you come underneath like that. Letting go of that leg and just let it draw along the floor, and then you bring the other one up and you stretch that one in towards your chest. No awards for squeezing it the hardest. We're just breathing it in and breathing it out, not every out breath. It's organically coming a little bit closer. in and squashing that left-hand side of the bowel. That's the descending colon. And letting go and surrendering and melting into the floor. The shoulders and your neck and everything don't have to be doing anything much, it's just your arms. And then letting go of that one. And so arm out towards the shoulder level, palm down, opposite hand on the outside of the knee, or if you have sore knees, you leave your knee open further. If you have all right knees, you can cup your foot underneath that and you just roll across. You are not taking your shoulders off. You're not coming off your shoulders and getting over there. You're staying very secure on your shoulders. If you want to, you can lift your shoulders up and settle back down till you get a really good base and structure here with this arm. And then you just, on the out breath, squeezing, squeezing, letting go, letting go. So your hip is a little bit off the ground, but it's this leg too's got to be switched on because it's like an anchor as well. And all the out breath, surrendering, letting go on the out breath every time. And you'll feel a nice stretch up through that bottom, and it's a lovely stretch for there, but it's also doing such a good job on your tummy, on your lower tummy. Breathing in, breathing out, rolling back onto there. And of course now, what we do, we got our straight leg switched on and that same hand on that side holding the hip down. Bring this leg out and open that groin. And if you have a bad knee, you can come and hold underneath your knee on the inner part of your leg. Otherwise, you can come out like that. And breathing in and breathing out. And every out breath, just a little bit of a stretch through that groin across that tummy. Breath in, surrendering. And you'll get a little bit further every out breath. And then when you're ready, big breath in, big breath out, and then bring that knee back up and just give it a squeeze again towards your chest to start with. Just leaving this other leg active, leaving that to squeeze towards the shoulder and coming back in and slowly letting go and letting that coming down onto the floor. And just with both legs, just give them a bit of a shuffle around, a bit of a shake, a bit of a loosen up. And then we're going to turn onto our sides and press with our elbows up into a seated position, and we're going to sit our bottoms at the back of the mat. And of course, if you need a pillow, grab a pillow to sit under. The whole main and the aim is to be sitting and stacking those vertebrae on top of each other. I have a mirror here, so just stacking as much as we can. If you need a cushion, that can sometimes or two, can lift you up so that you're sort of leaning and that whole area there is pointing down towards the earth. Because we're going to lift up our arms, keeping those separate away from our ears, and shoulder blades come down our back and our spine is stacked, switching those toes and back towards our head, even lifting your heels off of the ground just to activate those legs and pop them back down. Big breath in, reaching towards the sky with our fingers, facing the palms together, coming all the way up, and then we're just hinging from the hip to come straight over and just land our fingers either side of our, it could be our knees, our shins, it could be all the way down to your heels. Big breath in and big breath out, and keeping those toes switched on a little bit, and again squashing that tummy. After Easter, yep, guess what? We all had a bit of an extra go at the chocolates. That's because we're probably stressed and reaching for an energy hit too, you know, so we can excuse it away a little bit. Big breath in, big breath out, straighten that chest coming up and straight the sternum high towards the ceiling, back straight as we can, and you'll feel it right into your bottom as well. So big breath in, and on the out breath, surrendering again and coming down a little tiny bit further each time. Bending your elbows, reaching your fingers out a little tiny bit further, and all the way down, and really feel a little bit of uncomfortable feeling there, but that's okay. And then we're just going to walk our hands back in and coming back up. Onto our knees down, do some cat and cow. So spin those legs around, get rid of that pillow for the moment. Onto our knees, underneath our hips, wrists underneath our shoulders, feet are flat and pushing into the floor, hands are like a gecko, really spread, pushing back, big breath in, big breath out, curving up into our arch like a cat, and then coming through with our chest looking forward and tucking that bottom up a little bit for cow, breathing in, breathing out, coming through on our in-breath to the cow, breathing out. Try and take those shoulder blades up into the air a bit higher. Breathing in, up towards this corner of the wall where the wall meets the ceiling. Up again, and then just coming to neutral. So we're going to go up to downward dog, but we're going to just make sure these arms are really switched on, and of course we need to do our jeans up, remember? Get that core switched on with that hook that we used to use, the coat hanger, and pull those jeans really tight so that inside our body has got some strength towards it. And then we bring that imaginary zipper across from each hip so we have that nice T-bar of strength in our lower body. So it's even making our tailbone go even more towards the earth. So we're getting everything to switch on. That allows the whole ribs to be firm, the chest comes out, the shoulders go back, and then just take yourself in that position down into your all fours, pressing those gecko hands in, like really pressing down and pressing the floor away. Shoulder blades are switched on, and down your back a little bit. Tuck those toes under, and let's hover for a little minute. But when we go up, we want our knees bent and our tummy to really sit on the tops of those thighs for a little while. Switching on those arms and getting the upper downward dog pose really spot on. Breath in, breath out, and hover for a little minute, and then pushing all the way up and leaving those really strong arms to take a lot of pressure and pushing back your bottom. Your hips and everything are up in the air, but your tummy's like trying to sort of squash up against your thighs. And then we can just come up with one foot pedal, the other foot pedal, and just do a few pedal moves. And we're going to come back down to downward dog, so that's when we can have a little rest, and then we're going to come back up again. So pressing back with those arms before we go back into downward dog, and we come down with knee to the edges of the mat, big toes together, and coming down and just letting go into child pose. This is the pose to come to restore your breath, restore and let your muscles completely relax, but it's also stretching all through your back. Great pose, great posture. Breathing in and breathing out and letting that tummy be really soft and surrender. Breath in, breath out. And then we can just come and hop back into that all four position, switching that tummy on, switching those shoulders and arms on, tucking those toes under, and we're going to come up to downward dog again, and then we're going to do another move from there. So lovely big breath in, lovely big breath out, tucking under, switching on that core and lifting up all the way, pushing those arms, making them strong, pedaling for a little while, and then we're just going to stay completely into that downward dog position for a moment. Breathing in, breathing out, just perfecting that move, trying to get those heels a little bit closer to the back of the mat there, the left hand heel towards the left hand corner, the right hand heel towards the right hand corner, pressing back your bottom up, really getting a little bit of uncomfortable feel towards the backs of your legs, but not snapping them, of course, just going to where that level of discomfort feels like, okay, I'm at my edge now. Big breath in and then coming back down, knees to the sides of the mat, big toes together and coming back for a rest. In this rest, we can rest our back, but let's take our hands a little bit further towards the top of the mat and just leave them there comfortably and stretch those underarms a little bit. Stretch those armpits open a little bit further. We're always curving around doing so much round shouldered work, so this is a nice stretch. And you know, just a little tiny bit further, we can walk with our fingers just to stretch those armpits. And then just working them back in and walking ourselves back up again. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do a little bit more on the tummy. So we're sitting here, or we're in our all fours position. So what I want you to do now is just move each hand a whole fingerprint ahead above where it was. So you're sort of like a little bit stretched out in the body a bit further. So get one leg and we're going to be able to maybe tuck it under to get a little bit of a spring, because we're going to put our foot in between our hands. So do the right hand side for the right side, the ascending colon. Big breath in and big breath out, and lift it all the way towards the in between your two hands here. Coming up onto your fingertips, so you've got a nice groin stretch. You're squashing your tummy. It's called runner's lunge. Lifting that chest and that head and really stretching in through that groin and squashing that tummy again. Breathing in, breathing out. Loving to let go on the out breath. Nice big breath here, nice big breath. And then coming, we're going to bring our foot now, we're going to bring that back in. So just coming back with your bottom, getting a little bit of a spring up. If you have to grab your foot and help your foot, that's okay. But if you can lift up and use that core and bring that leg right back into position like that, that's really good. Hands back down again. Tuck under with the left side. Bit of a springing action towards putting your foot towards there. And if you imagine you can do it, you'll start to do it. Big breath in and spring it up and bring it through to in between your hands. Lift your fingertips up again and lift that chest, straighten that back level with the back of the neck, and just lean into that groin, stretching through there, but really squashing in here and up against that inner there. And ready to swing back, so switching that core on, swinging back a little bit, bringing that core on and bringing back that knee back to that position and hands back down. So really coming back underneath those shoulders with those hands. We might just have a little break for a minute and just bring those wrists back the opposite way to give them a bit of a rest, because they're probably getting a bit sore by now. And just literally lifting your chest towards the front of the room. Your wrists are level with your knees and you're just pulling back, and you're pulling on all those muscles through there, and even just a little circle of those wrists backwards and forwards. And ready to come back into position again. Now, really pushing away, and we're going to do that same move again. So we're going to put your toes under on the right hand side, a little bit of a spring towards, and bring that foot in the middle there. But what we're going to do, we're going to remain there, and we're going to put our left hand flat down next to our foot, and we're going to raise that right hand up. And we're just going to look as far as we can to where the wall joins the ceiling, and just stretch and squash our tummy a little bit there, and then breathing in and breathing out, coming back down and on our fingertips again, displaying those fingertips, breathing in, breathing out, and swinging that leg back in. Hands straight back onto the floor, pushing away again. Toes under the left hand side, a bit of a springing action, bringing our foot in between our hands, can come up on spider fingers, and bring that hand flat onto the floor next to your foot, your right hand this time, and the left hand goes up. So we're doing a bit of a twist of the tummy here, looking towards you know, that angle, if you can turn around, well, you know, it's going to be pretty hard for you to turn to face your thumb because that's going to be screwing that neck too much. So you're looking out towards the ceiling that way, breathing in, breathing out, squashing that tummy nicely. Hand comes back down, the spider fingers again, getting that core switched back on and bringing that foot and knee back underneath your hips. Big breath in, big breath out, cat and cow for a couple of times. Cat. Breathing in, coming through cow. And another cat. And coming to neutral. This time I want you to put your left knee towards your right wrist. So it's again, see if you can keep your feet back straight, flat this time. And you're using your whole core to bring that knee across to that right, and you take your foot through and you increment that leg back down, so you're really squashing your tummy onto your thigh, coming on, staying up straight if you need to. That's very strong in that hip. It's lovely though, it's really pulling that fascia and making that hip nice and oiled up, and you know, hip problems can come later on in life, so this is great to spread the fascia, that skin underneath the skin that keeps everything so tight. Breathing in, breathing out, coming maybe down to your elbows, holding your hands and gripping your hands together like that, folding finger into finger. Big breath in a couple of times here, trying to keep that back straight, even coming over a little bit towards your groin, that heel towards your groin, so you're sort of really stretching that area again even more. And some people can even come right down and lay with their forehead onto their hands. And the really good yogis can put their leg right out level like that and still roll down onto their hands, onto the floor. Lovely big breath in and walking ourselves back. Now you bring that foot back in, so you're walking that foot back in to where its position are, and you again lift by using your core, lift that leg back into position there. Opposite side now, so we're going to move that knee in towards that left wrist. So big breath in, big breath out, and coming and popping it right next to it and shuffling that heel through, and then moving back down the back with that leg there, all the way back down the back. Now this side's tighter than the other side. Lifting your chest up high, nice straight back, breathing in, breathing out, coming down to your elbows if you can, grabbing hold of your hands in, linking them in, chest again straight, back straight. Oh yeah, it's really getting into that corner of my butt now. Coming over a little bit further over towards your heel, and even coming down onto your hands. Breathing in, breathing out, letting go, feeling that discomfort, but it's doing so much good, spreading that fascia in that hip. That's really good. And of course, if you're really into pain, you can bring your foot right out like that, and you're meant to come right over and even come right down onto the floor with your forehead, stretching all those areas, really great for the tummy. And then walking back in, hands in position underneath where our shoulders would be, coming in with that foot, bringing it in, lifting up with the core, that other leg, and bringing it back into position. Let's do a child's pose and then roll over for the end of class. Child's pose is such a lovely restorative pose. We can have our hands like this. We can put our arms all the way around to the back and have the third eye really pressing into the floor, into the mat. But always breathing in and letting go and softening more and more every moment. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Lifting up, pressing back, walking back. So Again, with those wrists, just a couple little oiling those wrists round and round this way and that way, pulling your hand back towards your face, downwards as well, your palm facing you this time, back of your hand looking at your eyes, palms looking at your chest, again round and round, just a bit of a stretch of those shoulders, lifting up those shins, giving them a stretch. The other side, lifting up that shin, giving it a stretch. And then just spin around on your bottom and incrementing back down like we always do, into position, nice and straight and curving our tummy in. And by this time we should be able to nearly just slowly peel onto, by having that core strength that we've been working on every lesson. You will be becoming stronger and stronger every time, every day. Lifting your head, letting go, letting go, letting go. Melting into the earth, melting into the beautiful cosmos energy, pouring in through the ceiling all the way down into your body. Mother Earth's energy pouring into you from behind, mishing and melding together, splaying out to the sides to that beautiful auric field of yours, that force field, vital energy for your lifetime, for this visit on this earth in this body. That's your energy. Thanking your body for doing what it's doing, thanking it for working so well, for allowing you to join these classes and join with me into making our mind, body, spirit become one, become healthy and balanced. Feeling free to stay where you are, to continue on the resting part of your class. Most important, to integrate what we've learnt today. Feeling at peace, feeling full of love and joy and happiness and harmony. You can always lie on your side and push yourself up, kneeling or cross-legged, legs straight out in front, doesn't matter. Or you could stay exactly where you are right now. And know that I'm pressing my fingers together, my thumbs close to my sternum. Namaste everyone, have a lovely rest of the day.